So I guess I'll see if I get you guys some instructional videos on your extra credit, your J4 and stuff. So what's up with this dude, the factoring completely? Yeah, it's the completely part that's going to get a lot of y'all, because it's completely. Of course, it starts out pretty easy. There's nothing too bad. Most of you guys have a rough idea how to factor. To create x to the fourth, you're going to take an x squared and an x squared, because x squared times x squared is x to the fourth. And to make a 36, probably 6 and 6. Why am I using 6 and 6? I'm using 6 and 6 because that makes 6x squared, as does that. And 6x squared plus 6x squared is 12x squared. That guy right there. So that's going to give me everything I need. So this guy is going to factor as x plus x squared plus 6 twice. So check my work here. I don't have a very good stylus application on this computer, so it takes me a minute to get all these done. Let's see here, parentheses x to the second plus 6. And I think they'll take it like this because it happened twice. I thought they would. So this one's very similar. This one is going to be kind of the same thing. We have an x to the second. Factors of 64 are 8 and 8. The nice thing about 8 is 8 plus 8 is 16 in the center. So it looks a lot like the last one. Awesome. This one, I'll write out. We have to add to a negative 18. So instead of using positive 9s, we'll just use negative 9s. Still going to take an x squared to create x to the fourth. And if I just write down 9 and 9, there's 9x squared. There's another 9x squared. And the goal is to get to this negative 18x squared in the middle. Well, what that means is they both have to be negative. Now, if you type this in, it's going to be wrong. This is completely factored. Completely. So there's a pattern out there that you haven't been taught yet. How does a squared minus b squared factor? Something squared minus something squared factors as a minus b times a plus b. It's actually not a hard thing to come up with, and some kids don't even need it. But if you think about x squared minus 9, it's actually x squared plus no x minus 9. So when we start factoring that thing, it still takes an x and an x to create x squared. Factors of 9 are going to be plus and minus 3. The reason we use plus and minus 3 is because this creates a negative 3x, and that creates a positive 3x. And that's no x in the middle. So I've got some work to do here. I've got to completely factor this thing. This guy factors as x minus 3 times x plus 3. And so does this guy, x minus 3 times x plus 3. So the x minus 3 happens twice, and the x plus 3 happens twice. So that's the complete factorization of that thing. Type it in so you can see I'm right. Oop, I gotta clear this. Like I said, I don't have the best overlay stuff here. But they'll give me a new laptop sooner or later, and then I'll have better stuff. Ta-da! So this one's about the same. We'll work it out for you because obviously you need to see these. I'm going to start off with an x squared and an x squared. Factors of 1 that add to negative 2 are minus 1 and minus 1. This is an a squared minus b squared pattern. X squared, a squared, 1 squared is 1. So this guy is x minus 1 times x plus 1. And this guy is the same thing. So the x minus 1 factor happens twice, and the x plus 1 factor happens twice. So that's how that one factors. Hopefully we'll get to some more interesting stuff here in a minute. I don't know that you have to actually tell this thing that those things are happening twice. I think you can just write it twice. I don't think that it's going to care, but I don't know. I'm going to jump up a level here, so I don't have all day. Well, that one's not too bad. Different numbers. That's what I want. Takes an x squared and an x squared to create your x to the fourth. Factors of 9, you'd usually think about 3 and 3, but 3 plus 3 is 6, right? So it's actually going to be 9 and 1. To get to negative 10, I need negative 9 and negative 1. Now x squared minus 9 is something we've already factored. It's x minus 3 and x plus 3. X squared minus 1 is going to be x minus 1 and x plus 1 because of my pattern that I have. So there's the factorization of that. None of those factors repeat, so that's what I have to type in. Eventually you get good enough you don't have to write all this stuff out. But you're not there yet. You will be if you keep practicing. Fantastico. Let's skip over this one. Nothing special about this one. I do want to go over it just because you realize it's not a pattern that factors. For no other reason, I want to go over it. It's not a special pattern. So when you factor the one in front of you, you're going to have x squared and x squared, obviously. You got to get to 10. So factors of 10, or factors of 9 that add 10 are still 1 and 9. This is it. Okay. This is not a squared minus b squared. It's a squared plus b squared. All right? A squared plus b squared does not factor. Unless you use imaginary numbers. But I don't think they're wanting us to do that. But they're talking about real stuff here, so I don't have to worry about that imaginary stuff. So it's just x squared plus 1 and x squared plus 9, and we'll be done with it. Correct. Nothing special about that one. Bump up a level to 84, see if anything gets different. So factor that guy completely is what I'm looking at. Shouldn't be too terribly hard. If you're not one of my Dresden High School kids and you're judging my handwriting, don't feel bad. They all have. So factors 24 are going to be 6 and 4. Plus 6 minus 4. Because I need to add the 2 in the middle. That's the deal. I have to add to this 2 that's in the middle. X squared plus 6 does not factor, but x squared minus 4 does. It's minus 2 and plus 2. Because 2 times x is 2x, negative 2 times x is negative 2x, and their sum is the 0 in the middle. So there's my complete factorization. And we'll get this one typed in, and then we'll be pretty much done with it. And I'll probably stop here, take myself a small break, and then I'll do another video for you because, you know, I know you guys love this stuff, right? Who doesn't want to watch math videos? Who doesn't? I think this is what I wrote. It is what I wrote. So that's kind of how you do J4. J4 is going to be a little rough for some of you, but once you figure it out, you know, you'll get better. And you had to take that to a 90. So why don't I just make sure that I know what I'm doing? This is going to be x squared to the second plus a 4, actually sorry, plus a 3, and then x minus 2 and x plus 2. The reason I'm saying that x minus 2 and x plus 2 is because the next factor would be to the second minus 4. Well, that's because I need to add to the negative x squared in the middle, but x squared minus 4 is special, just like, you know, what your mom or daddy told you when you were a kid. It is. It's a special pattern. Factors like that. Now we're in the challenge zone, which is nothing on these. Same level on all of them. So there is IXL J4. Hope you enjoyed.